Italian stallion, Reynor.
And in the top left corner, an amazing Zerg player and an amazing Thor movie. It's Ragnarok. You know, even though it looks like we're not going to have that much tension at the start of the game, both players just playing very normally, Baneling Nest, Evo Chambers at the front for walls, I really feel like this is the most challenging part of Zerg vs. Zerg, because Zerglings, despite their speed and ability to kill you immediately, always felt like a stepping stone unit in this matchup to me, where you had to get really good at figuring out when to stop building Zerglings, because if you build just one round too many and try to swing and your opponent has a good wall and maybe a few roaches, well, then they'll actually be able to snowball out. And so, I mean, all these, again, very subtle, small little timings of when the queen moves down to the third, the positioning at the front, all really nice little optimizations to just be as ling-free as possible.
Yeah, both players already attacking up. Ragnarok, his lair was very early, like 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and he is aiming for +1 melee. Well, 99% of the time, that means that Ragnarok just wants to go straight into Mutalisks, and then use those Zerglings with their good upgrades for some proper map control. And it's going to be important for Reynor to figure this out. Of course, there is a... I want to say there is a Roach Warren for Ragnarok, but no, there isn't even a Roach Warren. He's just cutting all the corners straight into Mutas. Seems to be the plan here for Ragnarok.
And those 4 gas were very fast. I mean, Reynor has only just now completed Geysers 2 and 3 and is powering out drones, now getting more Geysers at the natural expansion. But I gotta say, I love when ZVZ is Mutalisk versus Roach Hydra. I mean, I just think these matches wind up being absolutely ridiculous. You can see Ragnarok already planning his next step, getting the, Zergling attack upgrade, making sure that he's not too all in on the Mutas. And especially when it gets late and we see Ultras come out. I mean, my favorite unit in the entire game, Roddy, because they're just so big and dumb and clumsy and gigantic. It pleases the Timmy in me.
Well, since we're starting our broadcast with back-to-back ZVZ best of 5s, I think there is a good chance you'll see plenty of them. I gotta say, Ragnarok is playing a very, very, very greedy game. This is next level greed. He's got 5 Zerglings, 2 Banelings, and 67 drones +1 melee and a Spire. Reynor is pretty much gonna have to kill him. That's why we see the Nidus network going down. But since Ragnarok was so greedy, it's kind of a race against the clock right now for Reynor. He needs to get it done before all the Mutas are out, otherwise he's going to be in all sorts of trouble.
And it looks like we see a flood of Lings popping up from Ragnarok, going to help him be able to apply, multiple forms of counter pressure. And there's the Nidus network. I am loving this timing for the Nidus network for Reynor. It allows him, obviously, to be able to, apply a bunch of pressure. But when you are against a sort of Mutalisk, Ling, anything where their composition is faster than your composition, just making sure you have the ability to defend adequately is always the puzzle. And I think that the Nidus network, look at this fantastic positioning right in the middle of the map. Not trying to be clever about it, not trying to sneak it, just directly pressuring and still having retreat paths open.
I love what Ragnarok is doing with the links, just delaying the attack from Reynor a little bit. Reynor will kill a whole bunch of drones here. I think that part is inevitable. But has he missed the window to actually kill Ragnarok? Because I think even killing 20 drones is just not enough here. You need to do a lot more. Even a couple of drones have popped out of the Nidus. So Reynor is going for the offensive Spore Crawlers. And this is going to be a fun little dance between Mutas, Queens, and Spore Crawlers.
I mean, this is a rough position right now for Ragnarok. I mean, look, you have just drones all the way at the far right side of the map. I mean, rewind 2 minutes in your mind. You saw Ragnarok taking a 4th base. I really think this is not part of Ragnarok's plan. He's already building the emergency spine crawler wall at the natural expansion. Reynor's continuing to press forward, and oh, I love it! The Spore Crawler from Reynor right in front of the natural expansion. And then a Nidus Worm gently nestled between them. We actually see the 3rd Nidus Worm popping out now for Reynor. The first one was killed, and Reynor is actually not going to go all in. He's playing this hilariously. I would describe this as very cautiously. He still has Nidus Worms, both very far forward, but it's very, very easy for Reynor to retreat back because the Nidus network main entrance is by the 3rd base. I mean, Reynor pretty much has all his bases covered, and there's more Spore Crawlers arriving. And this is going to turn into a starvation play, Kevin.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool. He's going to morph Roaches into Ravagers. That's going to make it a little bit more doable for Reynor to bust those Spine Crawlers. Because it is hard normally to run into 7 spines.
Yeah.
I still think this one is not over yet. The Mutas are going to go for the counterattack. There's not that much anti-air at home. Ragnarok is, I don't really give a damn how many Spore Crawlers you have at the front of my natural. How many do you have at home? And it seems like the answer is not enough. This is a brilliant play by Ragnarok.
I mean, this is just sensational. And now it looks like the Nidus network is at half health. And suddenly Reynor decided, okay, I gotta actually try to bust into the front of these Ravagers. What a weird unit to see against Mutalisks at this point in time. But it's actually the perfect choice. Reynor is now going to be able to start breaking through, piercing down each of these spine crawlers. Reynor, though, is on 2 bases.
Yeah, I feel that Ragnarok should bring the Mutas back now. Like, come on, you've done enough on the other side of the map. I think if Ragnarok cleans this up, his Mutalisks will win the game, but they're still in the net. He's going for a full-on base trade. I'm a little bit surprised he decided to never bring them back. He loses all the spines. Yeah, I feel like he should have brought them back a bit sooner.
Spore crawlers do ridiculous damage to Mutalisks, and now Reynor is borrowing them, touching Ragnarok's hatchery. The instant those Mutalisks leave, you see the Spore crawler flood from Reynor. He's not going to take any chances right now. The Mutalisks from Ragnarok will be able to pick off that Nidus network, but it looks like Ragnarok is down to 1 base, and, you know, in Legacy of the Void, your main base runs out of minerals essentially at the 90-second mark, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So it seems like the Mutas are going to go for the Spores. I believe they'll be able to win the fight in the end, but a lot of Mutalisks are going to fall. My goodness, Spore Crawlers deal a lot of damage. It seems like Reynor has done it in the end. I wish that Ragnarok brought him back a little sooner when he could have fought with Spine Crawlers and Mutas, because he had 20 plus Mutalisks out on the map. Reynor has handled all of this very well, and in the end it seems like it is going to be good enough for the Italians to take the 1-0 lead. That was a pretty exciting game. Yeah, I think that Reynor will just go Mutas, the same way as Dark has been going Mutas. Like, Reynor obviously going +1 melee is a strong indicator that he goes Mutas. His lair was way earlier this game than it was in the previous games. And I want to say that Reynor has done a phenomenal job in not only confirming once again what Dark was doing, getting a link into the main base of Dark, he's also done a tremendous job in keeping Dark in the dark. Because if you take a look at Dark's vision, he did not manage to get into the main base once. And right when I say that, he kind of gets in the main, but this time it's with an Overseer. So he sees the Spire.
Yeah.
Can you really match the Spire right now of Reynor? Because he's the one investing in missile attacks, and he's the one who actually built roaches. So tables are turned for this one, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, here's what and a Spire for Dark too. Oh, it's Banana Town right now. I have no idea what's going to happen. I really do love Mutalisks on this map. Especially if you can be the Muta player and your opponent is trying to be the Roach Hydra defense player, because you get 4 bases, but the 5th is hard to take. And one of the best ways to just secure a 5th is by counterattacking your opponent so damn much they don't even feel comfortable going to it. And so I shouldn't even say that if you're going Mutalisks, you can get a 5th easily. It's like you get the 5th and the 6th at the same time. Very, 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 very quickly. So some Spine Crawlers got built, but Reynor canceled them. Looks like he's feeling safe enough.
I think he was maybe worried about some Queen Knight as Roach play, but I actually think that what Dark is going to do is play Roach Corruptor. We have seen Corruptors being used in ZVZs a couple times. I'm not sure if I'm a fan, but I feel like it's almost impossible for Dark to play Muta against Muta here. His Mutas are going to be way later, he's going to be behind in upgrades, and on top of that, having Lings with +1 melee is just way more useful than having Roaches with missile attacks. So the only thing that really makes sense to me is Dark going for Corruptors, and
there it is, yeah. And I can say with confidence, Kevin, that I have absolutely no idea how this is going to perform. Like, that is the thing about which I am most certain in my analysis of this scenario, because Corruptors feel very, very odd against Mutalisks, because the Mutalisks can still just fly away and go somewhere else. The one thing that I think that the Corruptors kind of provide is they're almost like slightly more mobile Spore Crawlers. You still need backup. You still need to make sure that they have help, because they don't do a huge amount of damage to the Mutalisks. It's nice that they have 2 armor, so they can take less from the glaives overall, but this to me says that Dark is going to try to not attack for a long time, that he is going to be focusing on taking the 4th and then swiftly taking a 5th after this, and using, again, the Corruptors as ways to reach away from the Spore Crawlers to pick these off. Now, how does it function in a direct engagement? I can confidently say I have no clue at all, Kevin. None.
Yeah, we saw a couple of epic Corruptor against Muta fights in Zero versus Dark, as the Corruptors is kind of flying into the Mutas. At this point, numbers heavily in favor of Reynor. You don't want to fight near the Spore. I think, good initial trade for Reynor. I think what
Yeah.
Dark wants to do is maybe kind of max out, wait for that Carapace upgrade to finish up, and then just go for it. Being very well aware that maybe the Corruptors will lose the fight against the Mutas, but can the Mutas also prevent the Roaches from taking down all the drones of Reynor? I think that's kind of the game plan, and I'm really curious to see how it works out. I'm kind of a Muta boy. I believe there's more potential in the Mutas as they get a cancel on the fourth base as well. As Reynor is simply way richer, and he is going to have overwhelming numbers. He even has a double rich Vespian geyser up and running, and I love that. Sometimes people take these bases and they don't really take the gas. I'm like, no, take the gas, get all the Mutas. Reynor's economy is out of control.
And it looks like, Dark is still kind of doing this I have mobile Spore Crawlers play, where Dark will move forward, pick off some things, and then retreat safely back to Queens and Spore Crawlers. But wow, the Corruptor count is at 15. The Mutalisk count, though, is at 30. And the question is, can Dark deal enough damage with these Roaches? This is the moment that Dark needs to do gigantic damage.
Yep, Reynor has a couple of Zerglings on the bottom side, already picking up drones, so Dark is very, very all in here. He basically needs to win the game or take out 70 of the 80 drones that Reynor has. Reynor will lose drones, I just don't think he's ever gonna lose enough drones to truly be in trouble. His Muta count is off the charts. He's got 32 and he's making 8 more. Well, Sean, it's chaos, but I do believe that Mutas should be able to eventually clean this up.
Dark is having some excellent micro and is finding these small patches of Mutalisks that he can trade favorably with. The Roaches have dealt pretty nice damage. 18 drones total killed, but I mean, Dark hasn't even messed with this hidden expansion.
No, he didn't even see it yet. He doesn't know it's there, but even if he knew, I'm not sure what he could really do about it. Reynor's doing a good job in kind of dividing the Mutas to deal with these Roaches in multiple locations at once. And sure, Dark is still taking down a couple drones. It is simply not enough. Because once the Mutas win the fight against the Corruptors, and we can see that's happening, look at how confident Reynor is. He's like, I don't even need all the Mutas anymore. The rest of the Mutas will clean up your Roaches, and I don't see this going anywhere for Dark, and I think he knows it.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, it's composition locking, right? If you see someone... GG, there it is.